Nolita, what's up? Morning, good morning, good morning. See you coming in. Had to take my coat off for this one, y'all. Had to take my coat off. Behavior. Be back in a minute. All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good to have everybody. Had to take my coat off for this one. So excited to have you one more time. Y'all wait till next week, though. Woo. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Come on in. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Just letting you know I have homework for you. Just giving you that in advance. Channeling the teacher in me. Good morning, everybody. Let's give some minutes, a few minutes. We'll get ready to get started. Yeah, Miss Murray, playing it intentionally. Playing this song intentionally. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Plenty of room for everybody. Find a seat. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, it is a great golden day. Every day is in its own special way. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Come on in. Come on in. Let's play that a little bit more. Good morning. 8:02. Let's give a few more minutes and we'll get started. Just don't want to be redundant. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. I see some combinations of Chris's and Christina's. Got a good balance. Fathers, thanks for being here. Mothers, as always, thanks for being here. Father figures, mother figures, everybody. District, thank you for being here as well. I'm after something, y'all. We'll talk. I'm after something, though. Please know. Good morning. Come on in. Come on in. You know I won't keep you long. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Come on in. Come on in. 8:02. Let's give it a couple more minutes. Y'all be patient with me. A couple more minutes. Get you some coffee or something. Leaving with homework, though. We are leaving with homework. Need you to know that. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Get one more thing prepped on my side so this can be high quality. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I see you coming in. Good morning. 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 All right, 2:21. right, come on in. Come on in. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's give 60 more seconds and then we'll get started. How about it? Good morning. Good morning. Where is Lillian? Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. How about 38 more seconds? We'll get started. 38 more seconds. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, fantastic. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, 15 seconds. We're getting started. Whew. All right. All right, let me fade this music out like any good DJ would. Can't just cut it off. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Good morning, everybody. The time is 8:05. Oh, I'm so glad that you're back. Parents, check in. I want to know how many parents I have. Where you coming in from? District members, check in. Community members, check in. Friends, y'all check in. I want to see who's here. We're going to get started this morning. And let me say thank you once again for coming in one more time. Now, last week, we talked about attendance. And the bottom line was, barring emergencies or sickness, we need students at school every single day. And I want to thank all of you on how you engaged and hear the commentary. 11,000 views. So that's the kind of impact we're trying to make. And people got not only to view the video, but got to view your commentary. And I think it's going to be life-changing for at least one parent, at least one family. But, you know, I'm after something much bigger than that. So this week, behavior. Yep, stirring it up, y'all. So listen, I gave you some tips on how to reinforce expectations on coming to school. And if you remember, one of the things I told you, I said that I need you to tell your students that you expect for them to behave. I said that. So now this is the extension of that. Next week, we're talking academics. Okay, but this week we're going to talk behavior. Let me start with a quote. I want y'all to listen to this quote because I think it really helps us in this space. It's a quote by a philosopher, and here's what this philosopher says on the definition of discipline. Discipline is the ability to do what you don't want to do, but you know you should, and therefore you do it. I say it again. Discipline is the ability to do what you don't want to do, but you know you should, and therefore you do it. That's the space we find ourselves in with our students who sometimes want to do the right thing and sometimes do not want to do the right thing. But we know at the end of the day, and they sit still long enough, they know that they should. I want to backdrop us with that. But I also want to, I didn't just play music to be playing music this morning. Some Frankie Beverly quotes. Listen to this. Doesn't it seem we go through life going up and down? Seems the things that turn you on turn you around. Always hurting each other. If it ain't one thing, it's another. So we understand that this whole thing of schooling is going to be one thing after the other. But at the end of the day, we expect for our students to behave. So I want to spend just a few moments just conversing with you about behavioral expectations. And I'm hoping this can be a reset for many of us. So I'll say it again, like I said last week. I'm not here to fight. I am not going to fight. I am not, but I will fight for our students. And I'm going to make the assumption that everybody on here is willing to fight for students with me. And if that is the case, then we're on the same team. And I'm after us being on the same team every single day. And whatever we need to get out of the way to make that happen, I want to make that happen. Another quick shameless plug, commercial break. If you have any issues, please use Let's Talk. Thank you to everybody who went to Let's Talk after this. We got flooded by Let's Talks so that we can resolve issues that are on the table. And we want to offer that opportunity once again this morning. All right. So the bottom line is this. Let me start. Students need to come to school every day focused and on their best behavior. There's no way around that. They have to come to school every day focused. So I want to share some data with you. And I'm going to show you a chart first. Let me just hold it up because all I want you to do is see the green. I want you to see that green. And let me explain to you what you're looking at. This shows you behavioral data district-wide and for all of our different grade bands. 94.9% of students in the school district have received 0 to 1 disciplinary referrals. That's great. In elementary school, 97.6% of our students, 0 to 1 referral. In middle school, 89.7% have received 0 to 1 referrals. And then in 1 referral. And in high school, 94.2% of students have received 0 to 1 referral. So it basically pans out that in middle school, about 10% of our students make up the behavioral challenges that we've had. 2.4% in elementary school and 6.1% in high school. So the large majority of our students are doing the right thing. So as I talk about behavior, I want to make sure you understand that I'm not talking about this big, massive issue that we have, because as you look at behavior from, if you go all the way back to 2015, you just see a continuous decline in terms of behavioral issues. So I want to celebrate that just for a moment. However, we still have issues and we need to address them. And I want to use this to posture all of us to press that reset button, reset expectations, and let's receive some support for services as well. I want to remind you of my wish list. If you listen to my wish list, I had some behavioral specific things in there. One was in reference to cutting fights in half. One was in reference to cutting issues of following directions in half. Let me give you another data point. And I'm going to use high school. So in high school, we have a total of, just putting it out there, y'all. Need my glasses. Sorry about that. We have a total of 250 students out of all of our high school students who have been engaged in an altercation, which resulted in, 136 students engaged in altercations, resulting in 250 incidents. Let's talk incivility. I'm using high school as an example. We had 408 students that made up 420 incidents of incivility. What do we mean by incivility? We mean students who are not following the instructions of an adult. Let's go to disorderly conduct. Just putting it out there, y'all. This is our data. These are our data. 172 students making up 233 incidents. So we have evidence that we have students who are causing, as the song said, joy and pain. But joy and pain is like sunshine and rain. We expect some of it to happen, but it's all kind of the up and down of raising children. So let me talk to you not just as a superintendent, but as a parent. I understand it. There are going to be times that our students do the wrong thing. There will be times that our students do the right thing. And in terms of that, it is very important for us to focus on how we can redirect our students when they step out of line. Now, but let's talk about before we get to the schoolhouse. I had a great meeting with our bus drivers. Shout out to our bus drivers who sit in a bus with 30 to 40 students behind them, braving the roads to make sure that students get to school on time. And I received concerns about students' inability to get on a bus, sit down, stay quiet, and get to the building safely. Now, we've not had hardly any incidents as far as safety issues on our buses. However, it is so important for students to respect that driver, to have a seat, and to enjoy this free ride to school in a safe way. So I want everybody to make sure that you talk to your students about the importance of getting on the bus and being safe and not distracting the bus driver and not causing any incidents to happen while that bus is moving until they get off. And then when they get into that building, the exact same expectation. So I want to split the house for a minute. And this might be a little controversial, but I know this is real talk. I want to split the house, and I know I have at least 2 sets of parents and guardians who are here this morning. I have 1 set of parents and guardians who have control over their children. I have at least one parent or guardian group who is struggling with controlling their child. How can I say that? I've heard you tell it to me myself. I've literally heard parents tell me, I don't know what to do with my child. So let me let you know, I have counselors, I have school social workers, I have our PBIS coordinator, I have other individuals who are on this live right now in order to offer resources. So if you have any questions or concerns, we are not here just to put this front that everything's great. We know that we have challenges. That's life. That's joy and pain all day long. But we want to make sure that we line ourselves up to support you. So let me talk first to the parents who have control over your children. Thank you for whatever you're doing to set those expectations. And I hope that what's happening is the expectations that you set are translating to the schoolhouse, and that you continue to reinforce that all the time. We need that and we appreciate that. But if there are instances, and I've seen these instances, where a child behaves one way at home and they flip the script at school, I would not say it if I did not know it. I'm going to say there's at least one incident in that space. Please work with us to help that child to have the same connection of expectations you reinforce in the schoolhouse, in your house, that translate themselves to the schoolhouse. For those parents, I'm going to say at least one. Let me be modest. At least one parent has limited control, or one parent home or home has limited control over their child. If that is your case, let us help you. We have the resources. I need for you to reach out and let us know. Let's be transparent with it, because at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is make these dreams come true for every single student. And if a student continues to come to school and demonstrate wayward behaviors, and we don't lean in, and day after day after day passes and things don't get better, it's going to be bad for the child, and it's going to be bad for society. And speaking of society, let's not limit this to the schoolhouse, y'all. Behavioral challenges exist from old folks to young people, if we're just honest with ourselves. And what we have going on right now is very different from many of us when we came up in school. Now, my exposures, let me use myself as an example. 52-year-old man. My exposures were the encyclopedias downstairs in my parents' house, how far my bike took me, and those 13 channels when I was coming up. Think about exposure now. Y'all, we are at war with the world. And I submit that all of these distractions and what the world is showing our students has a significant amount to do with what's happening with them and how well they are able to focus in your house and in our houses. It just happens like that. So if we know that, how do we respond? I'm going to go back to what I started with. We have to work together in that space. So knowing this, I come to you this morning not to promote anything other than expecting the best behavior out of our students and putting ourselves in place so that we can help every single student be successful. So with that said, looking at my notes, it's a different day, but there's too much opportunity out there for our children to be drifting to the left and to the right. So I want to thank all of our partnerships who are on this morning, because you're going to help us to get in a better space. And what I'm after, and I'm going to give you some tips and homework at the end, so don't leave. I have tips and homework at the end, because I believe we have enough strength within ourselves to work with each other to expect something better out of our children. I remember a day. Let me go back. Can I go back for a minute? I remember a day when a student would misbehave in school. A phone call would be made home, and the next day you had a better child. Who remembers that day? Come on, throw a love, a heart, throw a thumbs up. Who remembers the day you made the phone call home? You said, child did this and this. There was a conversation, whatever you did in your home. And then we came back to school and that child acted better. I'm just asking this question, y'all. What happened to that? And it made the difference. I was one of those kids. Well, it took one fall. What's the guy, Ken Nugent? One call, that's all. It took one call to my house, and everything was straight the next day because I was reinforced. And why do I mention that? I'm after getting that kind of spirit back, where there's a level of trust between you and me so that we can be on the same space and we respectfully call and say, so-and-so child stepped out of line. We're going to work with them, but we want to let you know. And please help us work with you to get things better. And whatever happens overnight, don't break any laws, but whatever happens overnight, let's get that child back in a good space so that the very next day or as soon as possible. I remember that day, y'all, and we lost it. I don't know who to blame for that. But I got to put it out there because it concerns me. So I really want to just put it out in the space, and I hope I see somebody talking about the village. We lost a lot of the village, but we're after getting that village back to that space to where we know that students are going to misbehave from time to time. You know what that's called? That's called growth and development. Shame on any of us to expect for our students to be perfect every single day. They're not growing or developing if they're perfect every single day because we strive to get towards perfection. So I want to mention that because what I really want to do is strengthen this relationship between you and me. And I recognize this one Let's Talk is not going to do it. It's going to take us some time to get us back to that space. But I know we can get back in that space. Speaking of space, I wonder if I'm going to hold up a document. Have you seen this? Our code of conduct. And if you haven't seen this, I'm going to invite you to the opportunity to go to our website and revisit our code of conduct. Let me take it deeper. There's this guy. When I tell you he poured his whole heart out in this letter. Have you read the letter that's in the code of conduct? I don't just put some words down because it's due. And I want to read a couple of quotes here. And your first homework is this. Go to our code of conduct. I'm asking you. Can't make you do the homework. I'm asking you to go to our code of conduct. Skim through it to remind yourselves of the rules we have in place. And we have those rules in place so that we can have decency and order inside our buildings. But I want to quote a couple of things that I said in here. I believe when most students violate a rule in our code of conduct, they already know it's wrong. This book is not intended to tell you what you already know. This book serves as a strong reminder that you do not have to violate the rules. Here's something else I said. I want you to work hard to be the best representation of yourself every single day. And here's the last one because I want you to go and read it for yourselves. We're trying to change lives every day. Your behavior either helps us do that or hurts our efforts. In the end, you will either win or lose based on how you decide to show up to school. I'm after students showing up to school and doing the right thing. And I want everybody to please take a moment. It'll take you 3 minutes of your time. Please just take time, read the letter, understand what's in my heart as your superintendent, and please translate that to your students and go through the code of conduct. Now, there's one issue I do want to raise, bullying. I hear a lot of conversation about bullying. Let me first say, if you have an unresolved bullying issue, I'm telling you, if you've reached out to the school, no response, reach out again. And if you don't get a response there, follow our chain of command, each one up to the principal. If the principal cannot resolve it, there's a chain of command beyond that. But let me make sure we're clear on what we mean when we say bullying. I mean bullying in the case of I'm walking down the street minding my own business and unwanted, unsolicited, a student or a person bothers me. I didn't ask for it. I didn't say anything to warrant it. I didn't provoke it. I didn't have an argument prior to that time. That's really what we mean by bullying. If that is happening, and I was somebody who was bullied. So just know you have a superintendent who is in that space. So it's a sensitive topic to me. So I share with anybody on here who's having that issue. But we want to get all of those things off the table. So if there are unresolved bullying issues, please, please, please. And guess what, y'all? It's not a big school issue. It's a big world issue. I see bullying with adults. I see bullying in all kinds of spaces. And we should have a zero tolerance. You're absolutely right, Ms. Mack, on bullying. So we want to make sure that we're doing our part to resolve those bullying issues. So we're going to do our part. And I'm letting you know, if you have not had it resolved, please kick that back to us. So now, if you have not done so, I want to offer up some tips. So I don't want to hold you long. Tip number one, and some of these might rub you wrong, but y'all, I'm just a little fearless in this space because I really want every single student to succeed. I'm going to ask you to refrain as best as possible from violent language towards your child and to make sure that they begin their day on as positive a note as possible. That includes cursing or any level of violent language, because what happens, and I've seen it happen over and over, students translate what they hear in the streets or in the homes or wherever, and they bring that to the school. And we need some help in curtailing that. I want to encourage all of you, and I'll admit to you, I didn't always send my kids out the house on a positive note. And I got to take that on the chin. Especially my son. I take that on the chin. And if I could do it over again, I will make sure that every single morning you heard a positive word, a reinforcement of the expectations, and then we take it there. So I'm asking you, I'm begging you, if we can do that. Number 2, tell your students to leave people alone. And when I say leave people alone, I mean mind your business. Every student's business is to come to school to learn. But what needs to happen, in my professional and personal opinion, they need to hear that every single day from you, the person who loves them the most. They need to hear that from you every single day. For those who are already doing that, thank you. For those who are not, I'm just opening up an opportunity for you to create a positive atmosphere prior to your child coming to school, and then making sure that they hear from you. Leave people alone and mind your business, and remind them that their business is to come to school to learn. A lot of times students get involved in other individuals' business, and it hurts them, and it hurts what we're trying to do. Number 3, ensure that whatever your expectations are for school, tell them that as often as you need to, from a behavioral standpoint. I came up in a house, they didn't have to tell me a million times, because when you told me, I assumed that meant for every single day. But when they had to reinforce stuff, I can hear my pops now. Now, didn't I tell you? Now, didn't I tell you? And he wouldn't yell. Didn't I tell you? So sometimes our children need reminders, and we need to make sure we give those reminders. I'm after the best behavior from every single student, whatever that is. But I recognize some of you may need some help in that space. But if you can just please reinforce these things with every single student, and all the more because we are getting close to the springtime. Y'all know what happens when it gets hot, when it gets warm. Us adults, we're in the same space. Just something happens. And we want to make sure that what happens doesn't derail our kids from their dreams. So let me get ready to close. Let me reinforce. So positive language, please. And I can't tell you to curse or not to curse, but I can tell you that when students use profanity in the schoolhouse, it doesn't help the schoolhouse. And some of them don't know how to manage certain words. That's just real talk. When I was young, I didn't know how to manage those words. I thought I did, but I didn't. And it never resulted in anything good. Number 2, please tell them, leave people alone and mind your business. That's going to help us with the bullying piece. And again, I want to say again, if you have bullying issues, please bring them to the table. Let us resolve them, because I don't think bullying should exist with our students. And then number 3, whatever your expectations are, reinforce those expectations. And imagine, if you will, every single home reinforcing expectations, every home reinforcing expectations, and then sending all those expectations to school. I always used to use this quote, y'all. If you take care of one of them, we can take care of all of them. I want you to really think on that one. And we need that from everybody. So in closing, you owe your child yourself every single day, whatever that looks like. I want you to think about what you're saying to your child versus what you're saying for your child. So we can talk to our children, or we can say something for them to take with them for life and for a better space. God bless you for everybody who's in that space. Spend whatever time that's needed to make this happen. Like I literally need for every parent to spend time with their child every single day, rehearsing the day. What happened? How are you? Did you behave? Is that school going to call me? Like those conversations, they go a long way, and they are free last time I checked. Here's your homework. Somebody put in the chat, what's your first homework? Put in the chat, seeing if y'all are listening. Somebody, I'm not moving until you put it in the chat. What's the first homework? Somebody put it in the chat. Come on, type it in there. Nobody's typing. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'm getting 3, 2, 1. Okay, your homework is to go through the code of conduct. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Sarah Hayden. Go to the code of conduct. Read my letter. I want you to sit down with the letter. Find some excerpts in there because I wrote it as in a way such that you can sit down with your child and walk through it. Check through that code of conduct and hold it up to your child and say, can you follow these rules? And if they say yes, expect them to. If they say no, we have support. Look through the chat. I've seen some people already reading or putting things in. Thank you. I see you know the homework. Homework number 2. Y'all might not like this one. I'm going to say it though. I want you to go back as many generations as you need to, whether it is a conversation with your parents, your grandparents, your aunt, and ask them a couple of questions. Ask them, what were the expectations for them when they went to school? And then ask them, what happened? We're in a different space, and I want to call that out. And I just wish we could get back the respect and regard for school that we used to have when we had next to nothing. And we had a world that was tensely divided, even more so now. I just want to have that conversation. I'm calling my parents today to have the same conversation. So I want to invite you to allow our predecessors to speak to us and see what we can take out of that conversation that can add value to what we're trying to do for our children. So, final word. Last week, barring emergency or sickness, children need to be at school on time every day for the entire day. Today's word. Barring the inability to behave oneself, documented inability, we need the home to support us and expect children from the bus back to the house to behave and follow the instructions. I recognize that some of our students are in need of additional guidance. Well, who's going to give it to them? Not those clouds, not the sun. It's going to be us. So this is my humble plea to everybody. If we can dig deep and figure out something we can do as soon as today to get all of us in a better space. I want to thank all of you for joining, 486 individuals. I hope that what I've said today has spurred some thinking. I appreciate everybody in the chat. We're going to stay on for a minute to let some more resources, if we need to, get in. I agree, Mr. Ross. I'm glad you said that. I totally agree. Us as parents just need to get more involved. But let me say, you're right. Nobody's perfect. Your superintendent is not perfect. I reflect every single day to figure out, how can I do this job better? How can I show up better for my children and for my staff and for myself? And if I'm in that space, hopefully you can find common space. And ultimately, let's do something that's going to benefit our kids. I love y'all. I love your children. I love what I do. But behavior is a topic that we have to make sure we attack. I want to see you next week. We're talking academics. I'm teeing us up. Attendance first, behavior. But next week, we're talking academics. I want you to share this, invite people when we get this out. And I just want you to be in that space. Thanks, everybody. Love y'all. We can do this. Have a great day.
You can be sure there will be sorrow, but you will endure. Where there's a flower,
As people are exiting, just a reminder, I don't want issues to go unresolved. And I have people who can vouch for me. I'm looking at parents I had when I was a middle school principal. I saw one of my former students, DeAndrea Green, on here, who's an attorney doing a thing up in Atlanta. We serious about this. So if you have unresolved issues, please get to the school. Let's get it resolved. Let's show up in a civil manner and let's get on the same page. Let's see how far we can go. I believe in that. We can make it happen. All right. Have a good one. About to check out in 30 seconds.